The billionaire's daughter was drowning, and everyone just watched. She couldn't scream. She opened her mouth to scream, but nothing came out. She sank. 16 years old. Designer dress pulling her down. Eyes wide, mouth opening, no sound coming out. 50 people stood frozen at the edge of the pool. 3 teenage boys laughed. One said, "Relax. Someone'll get her." No one did. Except him. Malik Johnson saw her go under. 14 years old. But silent. Not supposed to be there. He stood near the hedge by the service walkway, half hidden, the way staff kids learn to be. His grandmother worked events at places like this. Cleaned after people who never learned her name. The rule was simple. Staff children stay invisible. Malik broke it. He ran. A security guard stepped in front of him. "Hey, where do you think you're going?" "She's drowning," Malik said. The guard glanced at the pool. Shrugged. "Someone's handling it." No one was. Malik didn't stop. He dove. Cold water slammed into his chest. Shoes filled. Clothes dragged. The weight of her dress pulled her deeper. He saw her body tilt sideways, arms slack now, panic already giving way to something worse. Malik kicked down, eyes burning, lungs screaming. He grabbed her under the arms and pushed up with everything he had. She fought him. Didn't know he was helping. Didn't know anything except fear. He held her tight. From the way he learned when his little sister slipped into a pool 2 summers ago and never came back. They broke the surface together. She coughed. Gasped. Hands reached in late. Too late to matter. Eager now. The billionaire's daughter was pulled out. Malik was dragged out after her. Soaking. Shaking. Breathing hard. Alive. Her father arrived seconds later. Charles Whitmore. Billionaire. Power in a tailored suit. He pushed through the crowd and dropped to his knees beside his daughter. "Ellie. Ellie, look at me." She coughed again, clung to him, crying. Charles looked up. His eyes landed on Malik. For one brief moment, there was something like gratitude. Then security arrived. And everything changed. "Everyone step back," a guard said. "We need statements." Charles stood. What happened? Before Malik could speak, a voice cut in. He pushed her. A teenage boy stepped forward. Then another. Then another. 3 witnesses. Well-dressed. Confident. Untouchable. "That kid ran up behind her," one said. "Shoved her into the pool," another added. "Then jumped in to pretend like a hero." Phones that recorded nothing became evidence. Charles Whitmore turned to Malik. "Is that true?" Malik opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Shocked as that? So does knowing the truth won't matter. Handcuffs clicked shut around his wrists. "Sir," Malik whispered, voice breaking. "I saved her." No one listened. The boy who jumped in to save a life was escorted away as a criminal. Behind him, Ellie lay wrapped in towels, alive. In front of him, a future began to collapse. And Malik Johnson learned something he'd never forget. Doing the right thing doesn't protect you. It exposes you. 12 hours earlier, Malik's alarm went off at 5:42 a.m., 8 minutes before his grandmother's. Just enough time to start breakfast. Their apartment was small but clean. 2 bedrooms. Furniture older than Malik. Dignity didn't cost money. Ruth Johnson worked 2 jobs. Hospital nights. Catering days. She believed in rules because rules kept people like them safe. "Don't draw attention," she always said. "Don't give them a reason." Malik nodded every time. Until the pool. Across the city, Eleanor Whitmore sat at a marble breakfast counter in a house with more bathrooms than Malik's entire building. Her father took calls. Her mother was gone. The house was quiet and loud at the same time. "Big fundraiser today," her assistant said. "Smile. Be polite." Eleanor hated crowds. Hated pools. Hated boys who thought pushing was funny. She never saw it coming. Back at the police station, Malik sat alone in a room too cold. The charge sheet slid across the table. Attempted assault. Reckless endangerment. For saving a life. And outside, the crowd that did nothing now had opinions. And this is only the beginning. Because what happens next is not about water. It's about who gets believed. Who gets blamed? And what happens when an invisible kid refuses to stay invisible? By morning, Malik's face was everywhere. Teen suspect in attack on billionaire's daughter. Comment sections filled with certainty. He shouldn't have been there. Looks guilty. Where were his parents? At the police station, Malik sat alone in a cold room. 2 officers questioned him. 3 witnesses. 1 video. No room for nuance. You understand how this looks, one said. Yes, Malik whispered. That's your problem. Charles Whitmore met with lawyers. Contain it, one said. Move fast, said another. This kid won't matter in a week. Charles nodded. He told himself he was protecting his daughter. He didn't ask if he was destroying someone else's child. Eleanor couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt the water again. And then the hands. Saving her. She watched the news. Saw Malik's face. Her stomach twisted. That's not what happened, she whispered. She called her father. He didn't push me, she said. Silence. I remember, she added. He saved me. Charles sat down slowly. For the first time, power hesitated. The lawyer warned against speaking. It complicates things. Eleanor didn't care. She watched Malik's arraignment. Saw him stand alone. Something inside her aligned. I want to tell the truth, she said. Charles looked at his daughter. At the numbers. The donors. Then at the memory of her lifeless eyes in the water. Okay, he said. Eleanor stepped forward. I'm alive because someone jumped in, she said. Guess. He didn't push me. He saved me. The room erupted. The DA's smile vanished. The story cracked. Footage reanalyzed. Witnesses questioned. The boys' stories fell apart. Charges dropped. Quietly, Malik walked free at sunset. No cameras. Just his grandmother. She hugged him like she'd never let go. Apologies came late. Some sincere. Some strategic. Scholarships were announced. Policies reviewed. Malik returned to school. Some people wouldn't meet his eyes. Others whispered apologies they didn't earn. Eleanor withdrew from the spotlight. She funded a swimming program. Didn't put her name on it. Months later, Malik stood at the edge of a community pool, teaching kids how to float. Water isn't the enemy, he said softly. Fear is. Eleanor watched from a distance once. Didn't approach. Some connections don't need proximity. They need respect. The billionaire's daughter was pushed into a pool. But the story was never about the push. It was about who jumped in. And who the world tried to drown afterward. Because sometimes, the unthinkable isn't saving a life. It's telling the truth when silence would have been cheaper. If this story made you pause, if it stirred something uncomfortable but necessary, don't let it end here. Hit like and subscribe to Hidden Tales Stories if you believe courage deserves a platform. And share this story with someone who needs the reminder that doing the right thing isn't always safe, but it's always powerful. Now tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were standing by that pool? Because stories like this don't change the world alone. People do. And sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to jump in.